Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Backfire Simsport TV. I'm Clyde Whiting, and tonight we are back in GT4 TCR action, live from Summit Point Raceway in West Virginia, USA. It is round 4 of the season. In the booth with me tonight, I have the one and only Sir Alan Toon. Good evening.
Everybody, very nice to be here at Summit Point. Everybody at Summit Point. Looking forward to this.
And also on the wheels of steel, or shall we say the broken wheels of steel tonight, because although we have a broadcast, we can't bring you any information at the moment because for some reason our whole broadcasting team has been removed from SDK. SDK ensure us that they are looking into it as we speak, so it may come back, it may not, but in the meantime, with not a great deal to do, it's Mr. Sam Boozin. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
So, Alan, I sent you a little bit of information on Summit Point, and one of the little interesting facts that I send out now is our previous winners. Now, in 8 seasons, this series has not visited this track. So, what do you know about Summit Point?
Oh, crikey! I know loads about Summit Point because I had my most successful ever night of iRacing here, and I had 3 victories in Global Masters.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got a lot of attractive features. Some very nice. It's got green corners. There's no great elevation changes, but it's corners are a delight to get around. I'll be interested to see how these bigger cars go. I've only ever really been here in the smaller cars, and cars are rather fast. But it's got some delightful sections, quite technical. 2 of the S's here, as you can see. There's Stefan, and yeah, if you're not careful, these places can catch you up. This is really a beginner track on iRacing. It's where a lot of the starters start to learn their craft. People know it.
It's one of those tracks that features heavily, like you say, in the rookie series, doesn't it? With the MX-5s and cars like that. I think I can remember for when I started, a 12-week season, you basically visited the same track 3 times in that season. So a lot of these drivers would have put many laps into this track.
Yes, it's going to be familiar to people, and there's potential for great racing.
Yeah, and especially the close racing that we get with these guys as well, and the track's going to help. Although we are seeing plenty of crashing at the moment. So we are just over halfway through the qualifying session. Currently, Wobbly Kneecaps leads the way in GT4. With Stefan Goebel in second and new driver to the series, Dan Blake, in third. In TCR, Stephen Walker currently leads the way with Mark Draper in second and Shane Powell in third. Now, Mark Draper, Alan, he's had a real tough couple of rounds, hasn't he? He really needs a result tonight.
Well, Mark's a very good driver. We know he's got the pace inside him. He'll know the track. Let's just hope that tonight he has a good run at it. And I do hope he does well because he's a very nice chap.
Yeah, most definitely. Right, let me just run the viewers through the current standings. So in GT4, Simon Trendle leads the way on 223. With Wobbly Kneecaps in second on 181 and Stefan Goebel in third with 177. In the TCR Championship, Stephen Lucky Walker leads the way on 210 with Gary Craig in second on 184 and Russell Cowell in third, 182. In the team championship, Team Chimera, Jamie Wilson, Simon Trendle lead the way with 393. Spectre 6 with Matt Elmore and Stephen Walker in second with 350. And Spectre 6 Hyundai in third, Simon Cowell and Russell Powell. I'm sure I've just got that the wrong way round. Anyway, driver of the meeting. Obviously, we didn't have a broadcast last week because of the storm somewhere in France, Belgium, Germany, wherever Sam lives these days. So that stays the same with Simon Trendle on 4, and then Jamie Wilson, Carl Hardy, and Sam Blees all on 2 votes. In the head-to-heads, TCR Group 1 is Gary Craig and Spencer McCarthy. Group 2 is Matt Elmore and Carl Hardy. Group 3, it's Stephen Walker and Russell Cowell. Group 4 is Sam Blees and Shane Powell. GT4 Group 1 is Stefan Goebel and then Jamie Wilson. And Group 2 is Simon Trendle and Wobbly Kneecaps. So, Alan, a little bit more about the track. What was it? 10 turns, only 1.98 miles. And from our track map, none of the turns have got a name, as is usually the way with the older American tracks. And just seeing on my screen that miraculously we have SDK timing back. So there's a good thing. I'm actually going to go without it tonight and watch Sam stream. And if we have any incidents on track, I'm going to stick with my iRacing and go back and have a look and see what happens. So yeah, I think this is going to be a very interesting race round here, Alan. It's going to be tight. The cars are not going to be able to get away with each other. There are 2, maybe 3 half-decent straights where these cars might get a bit of tow. So I'm expecting to see some big pack racing. What about you?
Yeah, this track encourages close racing. I think you're right. Nobody will be getting away. Well, there's always the corners are the key to this track, with any track, and there's no really horrendous corners on here to back people up. If you're brave, we could see side by side through the corners, and I'm expecting to see lots of close action. It should be quite exciting.
Yeah, I think it is a track that, like you say, you can go too wide on. There's Ollie Rick's proving there that there's no grip on the outside of a corner. What I'm watching on my screen, we probably didn't catch that on the broadcast, but there are some corners here, aren't there, where you get shall we say, more grip than you would expect on the outside of a corner.
I wouldn't expect drivers that we've got here tonight to be caught out by track conditions, really. Like I'm saying, they're going to be experienced around here, so even I can get around here. Reasonably handy.
Yeah, that could be a little bit of a stretch of the imagination, but we'll let you off on that one. But yeah, if you can keep it clean round here, then you do stand a chance of maybe cashing in on some big points, shall we say. Just a little technical thing for you, Alan. Is there any way that you could possibly up your microphone volume?
I could move it closer.
That might help, yeah. If you could put your microphone in the same room as yourself, that certainly would help.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but very. You're not as loud as you normally are. Now that could actually be a good thing.
Yes.
I don't know if anybody watching the broadcast. I see Eddie Mays on there. I don't know if you could let us know what Alan's volume is like at your end, just to help us out.
Things on full.
Yeah, don't worry about it too much or too much. See what I did there?
No, it's on here. It's saying everything is just as usual. So don't know.
Okay.
Oh no.
Let me.
I'm pretty sure I've got the right mic. I'm pretty sure. Is that any different?
No, don't worry about it, Alan. I'm sure people can hear you at home. So we'll just at BSTV. We don't care what shit gets thrown at us. We just carry on regardless. So that's what we're going to do. Am I seeing right? I've got my SDK running now, so I can now see what you guys are seeing. Qualifying is over. We just wait for the grid to come up. And then we'll get what we think is going to be a bit of a spectacular race underway. Usual rules, so it is an hour-long race. The cars are fuel limited, so they will have to have a pit stop.
Does that make any difference to the volume?
I think basically what happened is Sam has had to turn you all the way up to 200% to get people to be able to hear you. So anyway, in the meantime, let me go through our starting grid. So Dan Blake, first time out, gets his McLaren onto pole position in the GT4 class. He's driving for Fury Simsport. Wobbly Kneecaps is in second for BSTV Esports Pink, and Simon Trendle in third for Team Chimera. Stefan Goebel is fourth, Chris Needham fifth, Rob Venn in sixth, Arnaud Chenonnier in seventh, Jamie Wilson is eighth, Rick Hedgehog is ninth, and Kylie Haddington is 10th. Over to TCR. And let me just wait for the screen to click over. We will have Stephen Walker going off from, should I say, pole position. Mark Draper will be going off second. Shane Powell will be going off third. Spencer McCarthy fourth. Matt Elmore fifth. Gary Craig. Oh, everything's just changed on my timing screen. I now have no idea what's going on. So apologies to the TCR grid. So evening to Stacey and Martin, who for some unknown reason are still in Rhodes. I can only assume that they haven't been kicked out of the country, so therefore they must both be in prison.
Rhodes.
What on earth has just happened to my iRacing? It has managed to mix everybody's paints up. This is good.
Oh.
No, I think Alan has just had a poo. Okay, so safety car is getting away from these guys. They are going to go very, very shortly.
How does that sound?
That is 1,000,000% better.
Ooh. I'm pleased.
So Dan Blake has gone, I believe. Has he? No, perhaps not. Perhaps I was a bit premature there.
He's a great starter, is Dan. Very experienced driver. And I got a surprise when he turned up.
Yeah, and the GT4 grid is growing.
It's all good news. It's great to see a driver like Dan joining the grid. It really is.
There we go. Hammer is down. Dan's off. Wobbly following him. Simon Trendle is under pressure already from Stefan Goebel. Now this first turn, it's 1 and 2, as is the way. It's quite a sweeper. Not as easy as it looks, because it does, you know, the radius of the turn changes. TCRs are away. Good start there. What's a fantastic paint that is, Mark Draper. Whoever did that for you, mate, you need to pay them millions. But great jump by Stephen Walker there. TCRs, as usual, Alan, side by side, all the way down the grid.
Yes, I'm expecting a lot more of that to come, to be honest. Oh,
that's Gary Craig. Second place in the championship. Comes to an abrupt halt there.
Quick.
Princess is still going.
Excellent. Come on, Pete.
Be interesting to see what happened to Gary. Wobbly kneecaps on the prowl.
I wonder if Pete likes this track. He might well like this track.
Mark Draper still holding off Shane Powell. Ooh, he's a bit wide there.
It's
A lot of people on that turn, Alan, are paying to get back in.
It's the really important turn onto the only really big straight on the track.
Yeah.
You've got to get it right, and it's so easy to get wide. You can get into the sand and get off it, okay. It's not, doesn't have to be fatal, but not helpful.
Yeah, Spencer McCarthy looking. He's actually made that move on Shane Powell.
This is a racers track, Clyde. You know, we're going to see a lot of people taking opportunities, trying to get through, making gaps.
Yeah, it's one of those tracks, like we said at the start. It's once you get out of rookies, it doesn't get used that much in series. But it's a racer's track, isn't it? It's what I call it an action track, because there's always something going on.
Yes, it's where people come to learn.
Oh, so Gary put a wheel on the grass by the looks of it.
Unfortunate to end up in the barrier though. But of course no grip, so no brakes.
Exactly, yes. And I think Gary had to pit from that. He probably had damage, used his fast repair. Oh, and evening to Marco Namela on the chat, who, despite remarks from the contrary, he is still alive. Ooh, right, so we've got a couple of messages come through on whatever that other thing is that we do, Twitch or something like that. Hey Backfire, what's up? That's from Josh Kelly. What's up? Price of petrol's up, gas has gone up, electricity's gone up, national insurance has just gone up. So yeah, lots up. I can't read that one. Can't see the name because it's in purple. But he says he's quieter than you, which means I think Alan is quieter than me. But now he's sorted it out because Alan is actually a technical genius. You just don't realise it. Kip Stevens keeps threatening to do a second race. I'll believe that one when I see it. He's done his usual one race wonder in the series so far. So, yeah.
Okay, let's see you on the track here.
I would love to see Kip do a full season because as much as it pains me to say it, he's actually a lot better racer than people give him credit for. And also, when he puts his mind to a series, so he actually does some practice rather than arrive and drive, it's surprising how far up the grid he can get.
Yes, couldn't agree more. And I've watched a lot of old videos of Kip in the olden days, and he was a very rapid driver, and he still is when he wants to be.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Done many seasons with Kip running some NASCAR leagues, so that was always good fun. But anyway, back to tonight's action. So Dan Blake still leads the way, but we've got a train of 6 cars down to Jamie Wilson, and then Chris Needham isn't too far off the back of this pack, Alan. So this GT4 battle, it looks like it's going for the entirety of the race.
Well, we've got 6 running close proximity, and that's great, isn't it? It's great to see Dan at the front. This is giving Wobbly somebody to think about, and Simon. And it's a whole new element into the train here. It's a shame that I don't know what's happened to Jason.
He's probably spun, to be honest, mate. It's past lap 1 now, so he must have had a spin somewhere.
Just a bit of time there, but yeah, it's probably on the wrong end of an off, weren't they? It's yeah, I expect to see it close all the way, unless you get some off, incidents that break it up. And then we've got the pit stops, of course. And the pit stops will make a difference here. This is a place where you can get an undercut, I think.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you. I'm sure you can. And even the TCR battle, Stephen Walker's managed to pull a bit of a gap. Mark Draper and Spencer McCarthy are going at it, but they seem to have dropped Shane Powell, Matt Elmore and Russell Cowell.
Simon, please wait me.
Shane Powell was up there fighting with Mark Draper at one point at the start of the race.
Simon, please wait me. We're racing.
There's a move in the background there. I think that might have been Princess Bingham attempting an overtake.
Well, there you go. He's got him from the car, hasn't he?
Well, I never.
There you go. Fantastic. Well done, Pete.
Miracles do happen.
I don't like to see Carl lose a place, but if he's got to switch with somebody, Pete's a good one.
And who is that? Is that Gary Craig? Is Gary Craig making his way back up? But I think he's a lap down. That's a bit of a false position, I think, for Gary.
He's out already as well. What happened to Mr. Littler?
So Carl Hardy putting the pressure back on Princess Bingham.
Yes. Well, old rivals here, aren't they? So Carl won't like that.
He did say to Pete, "Good move" when he went past, but you never know how sarcastic that is from Carl.
Simon, please wait
Although, to be honest, it looked clean, so I think he may have been genuinely congratulating Pete on making his first overtake in 8 seasons.
Well, he would do that because he's a very honourable man. It's win or lose.
So this GT4 battle is looking phenomenal.
Oh, it's so close, isn't it?
Yeah, Chris Needham is on the back now, isn't he?
This is great. What a train we've got there. Look at this.
This is
Well,
a
without
seven.
placing you in trouble, you know.
Yeah, this is a 7-car fight now. Nice to see. I expect Wobbly and Simon to go well. I know Stefan can go well, but it's nice to see Rob Venn, Jamie Wilson, and Chris Needham in this lead battle.
Certainly is. Yeah. We would quite often see Wobbly and Simon and Stefan getting away, and that's not happening. The track is not letting them do that tonight. This is great driving by everybody.
In fact, Chris Needham, not only has he caught this pack, he's now starting to put Jamie Wilson under pressure. I think David Ayres may have just had some problems somewhere.
No, don't want that.
Simon, please wait, mate. We're racing.
Elmore and Russell Cowell going at it hard. But Elmore is in a bit of a sandwich there.
It's in the fairly fatal sandwich.
Yeah, they are all stablemates, but not teammates.
They're very familiar and accustomed to driving close together. They've got it down to a fine art, I think.
It's funny how in series certain drivers always manage to find each other on track. I always used to have that with Pete in our earlier racing days. Another guy called Jason Palmer. It didn't matter where we started on the grid, the three of us always used to find each other and battle each other on the track. Oh, mistake from Wobbly. He's going to give up second even, into third.
Just to get back with Simon in front now.
Yeah, just to finish that little story, our little three-way battles usually ended up with Pete punting me out of the way. Hence he got the name Bumpy Bingham.
Well, look at this, side by side through here.
So this is Matt Flannery starting to find his feet in this car now. Ollie Ricks, we know how well Ollie can go, don't we? When he puts his mind to it, shall we say?
Well, we'll see Ollie do well. He's got a great turn of pace, as Ollie.
And he's certainly hanging it out there. What I like about Ollie, what I like about his racing, and it's not just Ollie, I like any driver that does this, he doesn't give up. He doesn't go, no, I'm not very good round here, I quit, or I've had a crash, I'll quit. By hook or by crook, he will try and get that car over the finish line.
Absolutely. He's committed young man. He's involved in organising as well with their his other friends. You know, he's very involved in iRacing and both the driving and organising. So yeah.
Jamie Wilson put a move on Rob Venn then, but then I think out-braking himself or out-turning himself.
Goodness me.
Just a warning to Spencer McCarthy, if you're watching, do not touch that paint.
Very fine looking paint on that car. I can't imagine. I'm surprised he's got the money to afford that kind of paint, to be honest.
But yeah, and me, mate, and me.
He's got his hands full now.
So whatever happened to Mr. Littler, he has rejoined the session. Let's hope that he can get his car out on track and at least complete some laps. So I'm guessing it was a technical issue.
Well, it's in. I don't know if you know, but he works away from home, so he uses a mobile rig, and he has to depend on hotel internet.
Okay.
So he has, depending on the hotel internet, he occasionally has issues with his connection.
So he works away from home. So he could be a porn star.
I mean, he's a building site manager.
Oh, because we got Stacey the stripper. So evening to Mr. Lewert on the chat.
Stacey sent me nice pictures of them having a lovely time in the sun.
I was going to say, be very careful how you describe those pictures, Alan. We've all had those sort of pictures from Stacey.
It had a lovely boot of cold beer. It looks delicious. It did.
Oh, princess! What's going on?
Well, the princess has done.
He managed to hold that. He's obviously got the grass cutting attachment on the front of his Civic.
Amazing.
He was a bit hot in there, yeah. And Carl Hardy says, thank you very much. I'll have that place back. But then Pete takes it back again.
What's going on here? These two.
Even into Tyler on the chat. So Gary had a little off all on his own on cold tyres. Ended up probably in the worst place in the tyre barrier you could. We think he had enough damage that he had to tow back to the pits, hence he's a lap down.
Simon's got past Dan.
So he has. What happened there? I'm sure. Wobbly's putting a move on Dan as well.
Got him on the inside. Look at that. What an overtake.
Dan from first to third, all on the same lap, I believe. Spencer McCarthy still looking at that fantastic paint that Mark Draper has on his car. These three are just going to go at it all night.
Simon, please wait, mate. We're racing.
They've, it's been constant with them, hasn't it?
Yeah.
No let up at all. And they just drive so close and so hard. It's amazing that they can pull this off time after time. Spectacular skill.
Matt Elmore no longer the meat in that sandwich.
Yay! That's not easy to get out of there, I don't think. They've got a vice-like grip.
So, is it possible for us to have a look at Simon getting past Dan, please, Mr. Producer? Did we? I was probably looking at something else, like those pictures that Stacey keeps sending me.
Well, to be fair, I just showed the end of it because there were like 3,000 barrels at the same time.
Yeah.
I
So
saw
he's
Cyril
basically
popping in front and yeah.
Yeah, he got down the inside, hasn't he? Got the better line into the turn.
Yeah.
Dan sensible, not turning in, which obviously cost him with Wobbly as well, ultimately. But yeah, what a great battle at the front of GT4. Now the teammates are going to go at it. It's
No
the
team orders, I don't believe.
No, it's the Owl twins. Cowell and Powell. And just to finish that line off, they're having a hoot.
It's a wing and a prayer.
Yeah, anybody needs any dad jokes, just give me a shout.
Dad jokes or bad jokes, Clyde?
Well, a bit of both. Same thing, aren't they? Oh, that couldn't have been any tighter there, Rob Venn and Jamie Wilson.
Doesn't matter where you are in the field, there's somebody close and trying to get by you.
Little gap there creeping to up to Stefan Goebel, just with that bit of battling. Interesting. I think these two are coming back now at Stephen Walker. I'm sure that gap was bigger last time we saw it.
Yes, maybe, yes.
Jamie Wilson going to have another go at Rob Venn. He's going to get the better line. Rob didn't go defensive that time. It's a hard one to hang around the outside, but he's done well. He has done well.
Glorious track. Room for side-by-side, extended side-by-side driving. It's very exciting being in races like this.
And the good thing for Rob Venn is, you know, racing Jamie Wilson. It's all going to go horribly wrong now, and Jamie's going to punt him off. But normally, you can trust door-to-door racing with Jamie Wilson. Yeah, I think these two are working together, you know, to catch Stephen.
Well, that would be the smart play, wouldn't it? Well, if they start scrapping, then they're not going to pull him back at all. Stephen's in a...
Hello. Hello.
Simon, please wait me. We're racing.
Well, Shane Powell has dropped off of the back of Russell Cowell now. Now, we did see him go wide, but I didn't think it was that bad. GT4s are in traffic, which has given Wobbly Kneecaps a run at the lead. And he's got it. And I think I saw in the background... Oh, he's got it sorted out. Stefan Goebel was also having a go at Dan Blake. Andy Littler is on track and circulating, so that's good.
Yeah, well done, Andy. Perseverance, matey. Andy doesn't give up. My teammate, by the way, it's not...
So you're not biased at all?
I'm not at all biased at all. He joins me at the rear of many a race.
So Princess Pete is going to come under pressure here from Carl Hardy.
Yes.
He's just going to push him. It looks like it. He's not ducking out.
No. It looks like Pete's got the pace advantage, doesn't it? Because Cole, even in the toe, wasn't actually going for it line.
Yeah, Simon Trendle is going to take the lead on GT4s again. Jamie Wilson still trying to get past Rob Venn. I think he's got it done this time.
Starting to fracture a little bit at the front now as everybody's really getting competitive.
Yeah, we've basically got 3 door-to-door battles going on, haven't we? First and second, third and fourth, fifth and sixth. So, yeah, getting a little, well, I say a little bit spread out. You still throw a blanket over all of them, but more spread out than we've seen since the start. Well, that little the back two of Jamie Wilson and Rob Venn, I think, got held up a little bit in the TCRs. Now going to make their way through. That was David Ayres they were going past.
Thankfully, Dave is still on the track this week. He hasn't been having much luck with his internet, so it's nice to see him still out there.
So next up the road is... Who is that? Who's the TCR up there? Is that Spencer? Oh, Matt Elmore, sorry, yeah. No, Matt Flannery. Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, we have no Sam Blease tonight. Apparently, he broke a fingernail playing football last night, so he can't make it.
Well, that's a shame because I'm sure he would have enjoyed the drive around here.
I'm sure he would. And those Alpine Stars geodesic racing guys have had a rough couple of weeks in this championship. I was very surprised when I updated the scores last week because they weren't even in the top 3.
Don't spoil too much. We still need to do something about that.
Yeah, that's
I know
all
it's
right.
the past, but
we'll do a Back to the Future broadcast for that one. I've already explained on Discord to everybody that we'll do it as if it was live, but because we already know what's going to happen, it's going to make me and Alan look like we're absolute geniuses.
Well, I'm sure Alan is. I have some doubt about you.
I'm always a genius. In my head.
Thank you, Sam. It's a nice vote of confidence. I'm sure if you saw my notes, you wouldn't think so. Trying to make sense of this is a nightmare. There's so much happening. I'm trying to keep track of who's who and where they are. And goodness me, people are going to ask me about this later. I wouldn't have a clue. There's stuff happening all the time.
Your best answer, Alan, is always what race? Just pretend you wasn't here. It annoys me when you get those drivers that remember every single minute of every single race, and I'm like, well, I watched it 2 seconds ago and I have no idea what happened.
Indeed. I'm afraid I fall largely into that bracket. I know a few of the other guys. I wish I was more like them. People I would wish to emulate, but not so far. Look at this. The car is still
these two are going to be at it all the time, aren't they?
Yeah,
Again, we've got a few battles like that on track. Again, drivers that... Oh, hello. Hello. Where's Mark Draper gone? There he is.
Where is he?
Spencer's going to get past. Oh, cool. He was lucky there. Oh, he got a hell of a run there. He had to go for it that time. That is going to compromise Mark. Oh, no, actually it isn't. No. So Mark now needs to tuck as much as he can behind Spencer. And then there's going to be a 3-way battle in the TCRs for the lead. Where are we? We are 27 minutes through.
The GT's coming through the TCRs now. It's getting very hectic out there. Busy.
Yeah, and Dan Blake seems to be struggling a little bit now in that McLaren. I don't know how much experience Dan has of driving this McLaren. You would say he's got plenty from his racing so far, but again, Dan is one of those annoying people that can drive most things and be fast, so it could even be his first ever time in the car.
And when he told me it was in the McLaren, I wondered where it was. I didn't even realise it was going to be in this race.
There we go. There's the first to blink. Stefan Goebel in the pits with 28 minutes gone.
So, is he going to do tyres?
Gary Craig has also pitted, but obviously Gary was a lap down and just hoping to pick up the pieces.
Yeah.
Simon, please wait, mate. We're racing.
Such a shame. No, it's such a charming man. I really like to see him do well. But, he's a racer and he's out there racing.
Yeah, and you know, lucky for Gary, as we say, it's in the rules. Drivers do get one drop round per season. So if this is his worst round of the season, it won't count towards his final tally.
Simon, please wait, mate. We're racing.
Though I do think some drivers wish they could drop every round. There's Simon Trendle making his way through the traffic, wobbly kneecaps just following him through, trying not to let him get away. Okay, if these two start battling, that gap back to Mark Draper will close quickly as Chris Needham enters the pit, last season's champion. So Stacey is cheering for Carl Hardy, even though there is a bright yellow McLaren on the track.
Just loyal lass.
Yeah. I was going to say she changes her drivers as often as Pete changes his underpants, but that wouldn't be very often, so that one doesn't work. So, who's going to blink first out of the leaders in both classes? And well, I'm interested to see now. So, Jamie Wilson, I've just seen him come up as pitting. It's going to be interesting to see where Stefan Goebel ends up when this all shakes down. How big is the undercut? Is there an undercut? We think there is.
Of course, if he's coming out into traffic, so many variables around here with short track. It's
exactly, and you know, as you quite rightly said there, you know, the undercut is all well and good, but if you come out on the wrong piece of track behind the wrong car, any advantage you would have got can be easily taken away from you. Well, that is par for the course. Stefan was ahead of Jamie. I think Stefan. Now we're going to find out. I was just going to say Stefan and Dan Blake will be the interesting one. Dan, we just seen into the pits. Don't know if Spencer has put a slight wheel wrong there somewhere, or whether it is. Let's have a look at previous lap times.
Who's that going slow?
I think that was Mr. Littler just getting out of the way. Okay, where is... Oh, yeah, it's... well, unless Dan had a ropey pit stop, he's just lost 3 places by pitting later. Let me look at his pit stop time. It was a longer stop by a good couple of seconds, so that might be the answer to that one rather than an undercut. Maybe it was just pit length. So Wobbles is in, Rob Venn is in, Simon Trendle as usual carries on. He seems to be taking over from Tyler Newitt in GT4s with his water powered car.
Certainly very good at making his fuel last, that's for sure, and seemingly without losing any pace.
Yes.
Utterly baffling, but there you go. It's craft. Now, are these closing in? It looks like it, doesn't it?
They certainly have. So
Come on, Mark.
On
Bring
board
that
with
paint to the
Spencer.
front, yeah. Spencer's doing a great job. He's managed to get back to Stephen. And we know that Stephen's a very good solo driver when he gets in front. He's very good at driving a lot of quick laps without any trouble. So to get him back, they're doing well.
I think Tyler's not convinced that there's an undercut and it's all about fuel saving. I think there's definitely an undercut there. Just where Stefan has come out right behind Wobbly. Unless Wobbly had a nightmare of a pit stop. No, he didn't.
So Simon's in.
Yeah, leader is in. Leader is on the way out. It looked like he had quite a big gap there, but there is a big speed difference. But no, I think he's done really well. And yes, to be fair, his pit stop was a lot shorter.
Yeah, that's a big gap now. Where's he got that from? Has he put any fuel in at all?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think it's a combination. I think Tyler was right. I think the good part of the first half of the race, Simon was quite happy sitting behind. Spencer McCarthy's in, by the way, and probably managed to save a bit of fuel plus do an extra lap. All equates to not putting as much fuel in. But I also think we're right as well, Alan, on the Stefan Goebel equation, because he made up a hell of a lot of time on Wobbly with an almost identical pit stop time.
Well, I'm glad he called it right, because we like to see close racing at the front, don't we?
We certainly do.
Simon, a big team, took a tremendous advantage in those pit stops, didn't he?
Well, look at these. These five are still going. Mark Draper is ahead of Spencer McCarthy again.
Righty.
Mark Draper.
Oh, Mark.
Mark Draper. No.
I think it's me.
Mark. Oh, I'm looking at this and I'm trying to work out whether this is right or not. Either Mark Draper took a lot less fuel, or he didn't take tyres. Because he's got a. I think he didn't take tyres. He's got a 5-second lead over Spencer McCarthy. Spencer McCarthy has jumped Stephen Walker.
Yes.
So we can see Spencer's taken tyres. But I don't think Mark took tyres.
It's the kind of gamble he might take, you know. Isn't it?
Well, what do you think, Sam? You seem to
Well,
get
he
these
looks on the
tactics
ground.
right.
We
He
can
does,
see
doesn't
Steven
he?
is there,
Yeah.
but Mark is on the ground, so he did not take tires. So that's the difference between them two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's watch that gap closely then. That could have been a master stroke by Mark, or it could end up in tears.
Well, he's certainly gambled and thrown the dice, and that's what we're people to do.
Our viewers are probably sick of me saying this. I know my teammates are, but I always say, do something different, otherwise you'll end up exactly where you was. You can see how big the gap is. In GT4, Dan Blake is obviously the big loser. But again, Tyler has pointed out, and it's very true. Every new driver to this league have to learn the hard way. And the fine margins can be in those pit stops. So Let's see
Yeah.
where Dan can get himself back to.
Well, he's a fighter. He battles.
Jamie Wilson going well tonight. He's our biggest mover, up 4 places for his starting position.
That's good to see. I like to see Jamie doing well. Yes, I think everybody's doing well tonight, actually. It's been a lot less unfortunate incidents than you could imagine. There's been a lot of good driving, close driving, and not so much contact and misadventure.
Yeah, and just going back to Jamie Wilson, he doesn't always get the results that that he deserves in more ways than one. You know, I know for a fact tonight he's driving with a blinding migraine. I would suggest he gets a migraine every week if he's going to drive like this. He does get a lot of hard luck sometimes. He has got a fantastically quick teammate that tends to put him in the shadows, and what a lot of people don't understand is Jamie Wilson joins all of our leagues. He races everything that we do, so he hopefully enjoys our company, and he also does a hell of a lot for us as a broadcasting team in the background with decal files and things like that. And a lot of the time he's our go-to person if we want to try something different, because he's got an absolutely fantastic knowledge of what goes on in iRacing. So yes, I do like to see Jamie going well. Sam has just sent me another Twitch message, and Biggie Morello says it only takes one back marker to bring him back into the race, and yes, I totally agree, and we've seen that on numerous occasions.
Dave's having the right old go here with Mr. Flannery. Good to see, isn't it?
Yeah, and Hardy and Bingham are still together in the standings, although reversed. So Carl is ahead of Pete again. Oh, Mr. Ayres, you probably should have gone defensive there.
I think David's a gentleman. He finds it odd to be. He wants to do it on pace.
No, he's just an old codger. Although he does make good coffee, I'll give him that.
It's great to see him having good racing tonight and enjoying himself. Oh, grass cutter.
Yeah.
Oh, Jonathan Palmer.
And that's the leader on his old tyres. Spencer McCarthy and Stephen Walker would have enjoyed seeing that in the distance.
Yes, indeed. Lighting up. How are we doing for time? Have they got 20 minutes?
Yeah, we've got about 17 minutes left.
He's holding. Well, I think they're slowly catching up, but fingers crossed. It was a valiant move, so I'd like to see something come out of it.
Well, Stefan's doing really well hanging on to the back of Wobbly. Obviously, that's bringing Jamie into it. Chris Needham not far behind as well.
Oh, Stefan's starting to pressure Wobbly here, you know.
Yeah, I think he's just being annoying. if I'm honest. I don't think he's close enough to make a move, but he's saying to Wobbly, hello, here I am, don't make any mistakes.
Yes. Well, that's a place
Although-
where you can get it wrong, you know. So
Yeah. Although Stefan, I don't know if you noticed, made a slight mistake there, got the tail of the car wagging, and that's given Jamie Wilson some serious interest in a podium position. Oh, they're right on him now. This is that point of the race where you start saying to yourself, oh, I wish I'd have took tyres. Surely there is no way he can hold out for 15 minutes, is there?
I don't think so.
If it was 5 minutes, I'd give him a chance.
I think we probably have a similar opinion with that.
Yeah.
We're rooting for him then. I'll just give it a walk.
Yeah, and me,
He's
and me.
fine.
And to be honest, he tried something different. He's certainly not going to end up any worse off. And he's probably going to end up better off in points because he's going to get points for leading laps.
Yes, indeed. Good thinking. Oh, hello.
And that is music to Mark's eyeballs. The more those two go side by side, the less pressure they're putting on him. That was a fantastic move by Lucky Walker.
Yes. Very, very succinct and to the point.
Ollie Ricks and JB Dejew. Affectionately known as The Undertaker, because that's what he is. Although I'm not going to wind him up too much because Undertakers generally look very scary.
He's not the only Undertaker in the community. Our friend Adrian Hendy is one as well.
Who was that, Alan?
Adrian Hendy.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's a DJ.
We also used to work. We had another one that was an Undertaker, and Pete will remind me of his name. I can't think of it at the moment.
Very nice chap. Spins discs, all that stuff. I don't understand it, but mixing and DJing and stuff.
Stephen Walker gets his nose into the little Mark Draper. Oh, he is going to be absolutely gutted. There was absolutely nothing he could do about that, and Stephen Walker was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yes. Well, I let Matt go. Was it Matt?
Yeah, Matt Elmore has got himself up into second whilst those two were trying to get back on track. Mark obviously let Stephen Walker past.
Simon, please wait, mate. We're racing.
I'm with you though. He gambled and unfortunately he had an encounter, but it looks like everything worked out okay.
Evening to Stephen Phillips on the chat that says Pete hasn't crashed yet. Amazing.
Is he sure?
He's been off track, but he hasn't really done any damage, has he?
It's very interesting.
Yet.
That was, wasn't it? And
Well, Mark
been,
Draper is really struggling now.
Yes, we've already seen the struggle he's been getting a couple of times, haven't we? It's not going to get any better.
Let's see that again. So we know Mark got out wide here with a
It's got to be hard on the
handful of
brakes here.
understeer, and then nothing either of those two drivers could do about that. Stephen nearly ended up in the field next door.
Nearly blew him over.
Yeah, I think. Oh, Spencer's hard on the brakes, avoiding that. Yeah, I think Mark was already on that slipperier. I don't know if that's a word, but I'm going to use it. Outside line, because those two were trying to go through the inside, plus a bag full of understeer, and yeah,
Ouch.
that has possibly gifted the win to Spencer McCarthy with just over 10 minutes to go. Although, funnier things have happened.
Where's Carl? Oh, Carl's in
Well,
front.
Carl has got in front of Russell Cowell as well. Mark Draper continues his charge to the back.
Oh, it's got a gap as well. Goodness me. It's all happening.
Well, somebody did point out earlier in the chat that there's no food stands around Summit Point. So Carl obviously hasn't found anywhere to stop and fill his belly.
No. And he's in a rush to get to Colonel Chicken.
Other fried chicken outlets are available. Oh, that was Shane. He really sent that in there, and yeah.
Well, I think he's lucky. He could have been worse. He got it back under. He's only still trucking along road, Andy. And Gary Craig somewhere, a lap down. Don't like to see that, but it's still out there on the track.
So Stephen Phillips saying there is a sandwich shop down the street from the main gate. Summit is his local track, so obviously Summit Point isn't in West Virginia, it's somewhere near New York. Because we all know Stephen comes from New York, just ask Pete.
Well,
Stefan Goebel. Where are you? There's Stefan, there's Jess. A bit of a gap now between Stefan Goebel and Jamie Wilson. Chris Needham putting Jamie Wilson under pressure. Jamie Wilson trying to get past JB Dejoux. So it looks like Simon Trendle, barring any mishaps, is going to take the GT4 win. Hopefully that puts a little bit of a curse on him, not to crash, but maybe have a slight mishap and let the others catch up. But the battle for the second step is going to be between Wobbly Kneecaps and Stefan Goebel at the moment, and the battle for the third step between Jamie Wilson and Chris Needham.
There's the time to battle, aren't they? Is he pulling him up?
Well, the interesting one for me is TCR. Matt Elmore is more than holding his own against Stephen Walker, who's trying to chase him down. Now, Stephen Walker could be carrying some sort of damage that we're not aware of. But Carl Hardy is not that far behind a TCR podium. Didn't think I would ever say that.
I've got my fingers crossed. He's doing so well. And after that long battle with Pete,
Yeah, that's enough to kill anybody. Mark Draper has come in. Needs some new boots on that Honda.
it just shows you how badly they must have gone off, because he's a skillful driver, and he must think they're really dangerous. It's for me to change them because he must think they're dangerous.
Yeah, and because I'm a silver linings kind of guy, I think what Mark can take from this is, yes, he tried something different. No, it didn't work, but it looks like he's going to get to see the checkered flag this race.
Yes. And I'm with you. I like to see him. I was happy to see him throw the dice.
So he has come out behind Matt Flannery. He's on fresh tyres. I don't think that will take long to get done. Although I think Shane Powell might be a little bit too far up the road for him to do anything. So under 5 minutes to go.
I wonder if we'll see other people struggling with the tyres at the end here if they're going off that badly. So Mark was forced to change them. Maybe we'll see people going white.
Yeah, and I suppose incident points could be coming into it.
I've been told a number of times that the new tyre models have got rather eccentric behaviour, and that you get in periods of time where they're you lose your tyres going off and then coming back again. That's been happening in the Mazda. So I wonder if we're having some of the same in these.
I think, has Mark Draper just hit the incident limit?
Perhaps he's sort of slowed down something. Where is he? He's up to 6 now as well. This is a good drive by Pete as well today.
There is actually, yeah. Putting a lot of pressure there on Russell Cowell. Not got many laps left to get this done, though.
He's still got his eye on Carl. The gap's not so big. I love this corner. Run and get it right.
Russell goes to full defence.
Well, this is the main overtaking straight, and they both got a reasonable exit from the corner. It's all about that exit from that corner. There's enough time if you don't get such a good one for someone to get past you comfortably. So
Yeah, you got to give it up on this one. Getting tight on this one.
Yes, well, there's a hairpin and then the S's. This is technical part of the track, isn't it? Very easy to get a spin, very easy to overcook it going through here. Very easy to get on the gas too early through here.
This is where you want your good run.
Yeah. Oh, it can be very, very hairy going through that corner when you've got flat and you've got to carry your pace through. This is a great view of this, isn't it, going through here now?
He's got a good run there. Russell's gonna, Russell's gonna have to go defensive. This, I believe, is the last lap.
That's not letting Wobbly get away.
He's not, no. But it's going to be another GT4 win for Simon Trendle.
Well,
Quarter of the lap to go.
He's dominated since the pit stops, hasn't he? He got in front with the gap, and nobody's really threatening him since.
No, that's very true. And takes. Not yet. Yes, he has. He's crossed the line. Yeah. So Simon Trendle takes away the win in GT4. Wobbly Kneecaps hold on for second. Stefan Goebel third. Jamie Wilson fourth. Chris Needham fifth.
Where's Dan? Well done, Dan.
Just keeping an eye on the TCR. Don't think there's going to be any changes in the top three.
It's going to get second.
So McCarthy is going to take his take a win in TCR. Matt Elmore is going to bring his car home in second, flashing the lights in the background.
Be very happy, man.
With Stephen Walker in third.
And the trouble is with Mr. Elmore, he's in the head-to-head with my Captain Carl.
So Pete couldn't get past Russell in the end. Well, a lot of action in that race, Alan, but for all the right reasons.
Fantastic. Yeah, it was. I thought we would see some good close racing here, Clyde, and we certainly did, didn't we?
Yes, it did deliver. It's very much. I like Lime Rock Park as well. Is another one that always tends to deliver. But yeah, we've seen a fantastic drive. Well, a fantastic drive from all the drivers. But especially Simon Trendle, and looked like in the end a tactical masterclass in GT4. Spencer McCarthy taking home on paper what looked like a convincing win in TCR, but in reality it wasn't a convincing win. He was certainly going to be challenging for the win. But it was more than likely going to be between him and Stephen Walker, until we had that unfortunate accident from Mark Draper. But, great finishes for, in GT4, Stefan Goebel, Jamie Wilson, Chris Needham, were never far apart on track. Dan Blake, we know how quick he is. He led some laps. and probably will learn from maybe was a pit stop error, or maybe just putting a bit too much fuel in, or something along those lines. But ultimately, you know, good first showing in the series. Highlights in TCR for me. Matt Elmore in second, Carl Hardy fourth, Pete Bingham in sixth, David Ayres finishing a race. Lots of silver linings in this race. We didn't see a Jason Haddington spin, for instance. How would you sum that one up?
It's just exactly what we wanted, really. Bang up, close racing, incredibly skillful around. You know, there's some very technical driving on this track, and they handle the car, lots of side by side action, and really a thrill fest. I think, you know, some great tactics by guys, and and some great driving.
Yeah, most definitely. Yet again, you know, this to be fair, this series, I know we keep saying it, and I know we're biased and all the rest of it, but this series keeps delivering. So let's start these interviews off, because we never know if we're going to get 2 drivers or 22 drivers wanting an interview. And let's bring in our GT4 winner, Simon Trendle. Congratulations on yet another win. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, it was a bit anticlimactic in the end, because I thought I was going to be quite close all the way to the end. But speaking to Wobbly, then he overfueled or something, I think. So lost a bit of time, and then I had that gap which I was managing all the way through. Kind of anticlimactic, because otherwise the pace was tight between a lot of people there.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't mention that about Wobbly, because it honestly looked, and I've just said before we dragged you in here, that it was a tactical masterclass from you, and you basically out-tacticked all the rest of them. And then we find out Wobbly allegedly put too much fuel in, but you never ever believe him. But yeah, like you say, it looked, first half of the race, 6 cars under a blanket. And it was going anywhere, wasn't it? Dan Blake, first time out in the series, looked really, really quick. Obviously, you was quick. Wobbly's usually quick with you. But even Stefan, Jamie and Chris were right up there fighting with you guys. So it looked like, you know, we could have a grandstand finish. But then the pit stops put pay to it.
Yeah, sorry to make that boring. Maybe I should have had a slide or something.
Well, you know, I did try to put the mockers on you a little bit. I didn't want you to crash, but, you know, a couple of wheels on the grass and, you know, squeeze it all up again. That would have been nice.
Yeah, the TCRs could have done that, but they were actually quite good, so didn't get held up by them too much. Only once or twice did I have to sort of wait through the wiggly bit, but that first half was good fun. I was when Dan was leading the pace, I was quite happy just sat there in third, using less fuel than everyone. So then Wobbly made his mistake. I was quite happy to take that second place off him at that point. And then the McLaren, you could definitely tell Dan was struggling on his tyres in the tight corners. He was having to get down to a much lower apex speed. I don't know how far back he went in the end, but yeah, that was a shame. It was nice of him to turn up, and he was obviously quick in qualifying. Annoying,
I'm sure if Dan, I'm sure Dan will stick to it, especially now he's seen the class of racing in the league. But it's not going to take him very long to learn from his mistakes and become a contender, is it?
Not if he's got that qualifying pace, no. And it's nice to have a McLaren on the grid as well.
Yeah, because some people last time out driven the McLaren really, really well, and then just abandoned the poor old girl. So it is good to see one back on the grid. Anyway, we got a lot of interviews to get through as usual. So, any shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
Yep, you guys for the broadcast and the league, etc. and everything you do. I enjoy watching that back. Everyone who's turned up in GT4 and TCR, especially TCR, because there was very little issues despite the shortness of the track. and getting past them, and a very complicated part of track as well. Yeah, that's it. I think that's everyone. And Jamie for being here, I guess.
Yes, we do know all about his migraines, so we will try not to wind him up too much when he gets in the booth.
Wind him up.
Yeah. All right, mate. Well, congratulations on another win and a fantastic drive, Simon Trendle.
Cheers, guys.
Okay, so we're going to have to bring in, and we may have to rename him, Spencer Lucky McCarthy.
I think I might have to change my middle name in Discord.
So, again, we was just talking to Simon about the closeness of the racing. And it looked like at the start Stephen managed to get away. It looked like you and Mark were working together when you was behind him to get that gap down. And then obviously once you three were close on track, we know that Mark didn't take tyres. And yeah, that must have been a bit of a code brown for you. It looked like you was hard on the brakes when those two collided.
Yeah, I kind of saw it play out slightly, and I mean, obviously I didn't intend to let Stephen through, and I came out the first corner. I think Mark either braked a little bit earlier than I expected or whatever. I was really, really heavily trying not to run into the back of him. I think there might have been a 0x, but it wasn't very much at all. But yeah, basically it ended up me coming out of the first corner in third gear going, why is my car not going very fast? And Stephen's coming straight past me. I just left it in third gear anyway, so he came past, and then really that was probably my saving grace, right? Because I knew Mark was going to battle, because why wouldn't he? He put all that hard work in, and I think it was just an unfortunate little netcode. But then put Mark, wheel on the grass, and he was a passenger by that point, and obviously Stephen was right in the firing line. So racing,
and if you hadn't have made that mistake. You would have been, exactly in that position, wouldn't you? So, ultimately, I think I said in the summary, the result sheet is going to show a nice, convincing win for you. But for 45 minutes, it was nip and tuck all the way.
Yeah, no, hats off to Mark. I mean, he really, brought the game out this week. Pace was really good, and there was no real reason for me to try and battle him. And even, as you probably saw, when I got a run, I just thought I'd lifted a bit and sort of back in again, because he did genuinely have the pace to catch Stephen. So I was kind of letting him bide his time and drag us back up and sort of, work together down the straights and try and get back to him. And I think by the time it got to the end of the first stint, my tyres were probably better than both of theirs, because I was playing that kind of long game. But I still changed them just because I knew Stephen had. Stephen did the same thing as me. We ran too far onto the pits and had to reverse. It's like the guy moved. He must have done. No, but we both made a mistake there. But it came out, and Mark tried the gamble at not taking tyres, and unfortunately that left him in a bit of a vulnerable position. But it was great to get a win. I didn't expect it, and great racing with these guys as always.
Yeah, and next week, out of the frying pan into the fire at Long Beach. How do you go around there?
Probably slowly. I don't know how many laps I've done around there, but I could probably count them on maybe two hands, being honest. So it'd be a bit of a learning curve for me. We'll see how it goes. Okay,
and is your teammate Sam Blease likely to be back? We understand he's got a horrific football injury of a fractured fingernail, which has kept him out of tonight's race. But hopefully he'll be healed for next week.
Yeah, I think he bent his toenail back. I think it was. Yeah, something just really trivial. But he'll be back. Yeah, I'm sure.
Excellent. Well, fantastic race tonight. Before we let you go, any shout outs you want to give?
No, how's the broadcast? I wasn't watching while I was racing, obviously, this time, but I'll watch it back later. Would you rate it?
Always, mate. Always. 11 out of 10 every week, without a doubt.
I look forward to it. So shout out to you guys. Thanks very much.
Excellent. Well, congratulations on your, I was going to say second place for some reason. Probably where I expected you to finish. No, congratulations on another win in TCR, Spencer McCarthy.
Cheers, guys.
Congratulations.
Okay, so we haven't got a wobbly kneecaps, but we do have a second place, Captain Mannering, also known as Matt Elmore. Welcome to the booth.
Good evening.
Good evening. So, fantastic result tonight. Helped a little bit by Mark Draper's decision not to take tyres and a little bit of an accident up front. But, as I always say, you have to be in the right place at the right time to take advantage when these things happen. We did see you battling hard with teammates and stablemates Russell Cowell and Shane Powell for a while, but you must be over the moon with that second place finish.
Yeah, it's my first podium since I've been racing with you. So I'm going to use the phrase of the great Stephen Walker too. It was luck.
No such thing.
I must have been wearing my lucky pants tonight. But no, I was quite the first half of the first part of the race where I was racing with Shane and Russ. That was absolutely buzzing for that. I really like it. And obviously, where I race with them quite a lot, Shane's absolutely brilliant at defending and keeping his line, and it makes it very hard to get through. But I find he's always very fair. And of course, Russ, he's been absolutely brilliant this season. He's right on it. So I'm kind of glad I managed to get in front of that, and then now be in the right position to capitalise and get the podiums.
Yeah, and that's what you've got to do. Like I say, you've got to be in the right place. If shit kicks off up front, that you can be there and take full advantage of it. But interesting you say about racing with Russ and Shane. It looked to us on the broadcast that there's a lot of trust and respect between you three. You know, none of you is gonna do something stupid, which I suppose you can say for most of the drivers in this league, obviously excluding Pete. But it helps to have that close racing with people that you know so well.
Yeah, I mean, with regard, I've been racing with Stephen. I've been racing with him for probably 14, 15 years, and I've been racing with Russ and Shane. It feels like maybe 8 years, 9 years, maybe. So, yeah, we kind of know each other's boundaries. Unless you get in a public lobby and I put Russ on a wall, which happened a couple of weeks ago. Which is, yeah, we know each other's boundaries, know which lines we're going to take, and yeah, we've got mutual respect for each other, I think.
Excellent, always good to hear. Well, before we let you go, are there any shout outs you want to give?
I've got to say thanks to Work for the Tune. It was all right, actually. I've done all right, and Russ and Shane for putting up a great fight. I really enjoyed that, and you guys for hosting.
Excellent. Well, congratulations on that fantastic result. First podium in the series. Let's hope it's the start of many, many more. Matt Elmore, congratulations, and thank you very much.
Thanks, lads.
Well done, Matt.
Cheers.
Okay, so next up I am going to bring in fourth place GT4 driver Jamie Wilson. First of all, how's the headache?
Oh, crap.
Would you like me to squeak and scream a bit to make it worse?
No, it's all right. I've heard. I'm heard. There's a certain clip in the broadcast that will serve that purpose.
At the start of the season, we was all worried about the GT4 competition, and it was saved a little bit with the release of the Aston, but we still didn't think, it was going to be that popular because of the way the TCRs run together. And there's 10 cars on the grid tonight, and the first half of that race, there was 6 cars under a blanket. That was fantastic, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I was just saying in the in the waiting room there that it was like opposite day where we had a race like a typical TCR race, and they seemed a bit more spread out, at least when we got to them. So yeah, it was certainly hard bloody work, I tell you.
Yeah, well, we saw you battling for podium positions. We see you being battled from behind. Fantastic battle with Stefan sticks out in my mind for some reason. So you had a little bit of everything going on there, and ultimately, fourth place in that class of GT field is something not to be scoffed at.
Yeah, pretty happy with that. Yeah, it was first a big battle with Rob Venn, and then God, it's all a blur now. And then yeah, Stefan and Wobbly ahead having their own fight, trying to kind of capitalise on anything that might have happened there. But at the end, I just mullered my left front quite a bit, so I was struggling around like the last corner and that kind of thing. So then Chris Needham was putting a lot of pressure on at the end there, keeping me very nervous. So yeah, I was quite pleased to hold on. To be honest, I thought Chris was really showing his nose a few times there, and I just about managed to hold him off.
I'm very nervous at the moment because I can see Alan's webcam and he's making some very strange facial expressions. So yes, that's rather scary. But yeah, so I know you was under the weather tonight. So maybe that fourth place was a little bit more special than it would have normally been. But next week, this series doesn't let up, does it? It's Long Beach. That's going to be another fantastic race.
Yeah, that's going to be bloody hard work as well. I did an IndyCar race around there yesterday. I got tempted into one of the splits for that. It was probably contributing to my headache I've got today because that was hard work. Because that thing's obviously mental around there. But yeah, no, that should be good. The thing about Long Beach is it is actually, despite being close confines and everything, it is actually wide enough most of the time for traffic and stuff to flow quite well. I actually think it worked out quite well here, despite appearances. You'd think it'd be pretty terrible, but the pace differential between us and TCRs was such that you didn't really get that held up if you caught them at the twisty bit. So. And yeah, all credit to the TCRs because they, pretty much for the most part, did a really good job trying to facilitate us having our, nose to tail fight while they're having their own.
Yeah, well, we really enjoyed the battles that you had tonight. Any shout outs you want to give before we let you go and get your head down and try and get rid of that headache?
Yep, the inventors of paracetamol. And yeah, yourselves putting it on as always. As you say, the GT4 field being as strong as it isn't just necessarily about, yes, we've got the Aston and whatever, but it's obviously a place that people want to race. That's why they still do, including myself and Simon. So, yeah, you guys are always doing a really good job. And as I said, the rest of the field, particularly the TCRs, and a shout out to Dan Blake as well for doing really well on his debut.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm hoping that Dan doesn't disappear before we get a chance to chat to him, because it's always nice to hear from a new driver. But congratulations on your fourth place, and we'll see you next time out.
Yep, cheers, guys.
Okay, so next up, let's bring in... we're going to have to change this now to Stephen Unlucky Walker.
Cheers, guys.
So that race was... Stephen's got a chance of winning this. Stephen's definitely going to win this. He might not win it. Oh, bang! No, he's definitely not going to win it now.
Yeah, it was one of them races, wasn't it? It was. I wasn't expecting to have a bit of that gap at the start of the race. I thought everyone would be cooler, but they had a few battles. I managed to get away. And then I thought I'd have the pace to keep that gap as it was, but I was just getting a bit slower than Mark and Spencer. And obviously, by the time it came to before the pit stops, they were catching me. So I was like, well, I'll try and make a gap between us 3 and 4th place. and then take tyres and then see what I can do after that. And it kind of worked out eventually. I messed up my pit stop. I think Spencer did. Mark had a really good pit stop without changing tyres, but we all ended up at the same part of the track, and then obviously it happened. But I'm not overly fussed. It's just really unlucky for him. I'm not hold a grudge against him. Can happen to any of us.
Exactly. Yeah, I think we called it in the broadcast. You was wrong place, wrong time. And from talking to Spencer, if he hadn't have made a mistake on the previous corner of coming out of there in third, he probably would have been where you was, and we would be talking to you about what a lucky win you had tonight.
Yeah, exactly. Like I say, it's just one of them things. It could have been me on the outside. I could have been in Spencer's place. We're all racing together. Me and Spencer just had the fresher tyres, so that just gave us a little bit of the edge, of the grip coming out of the corners. And yeah, it's easy to get caught on the grass here. It's difficult to go side by side. It was a risk as it was, but I was like, if I can make it stick, it'd be great, because obviously I'd drag Spencer away and we'd have a bit of a battle towards the end. But yeah. Just happens, doesn't it? It's racing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's not like somebody did it on purpose. But we're a third of the way through the season now. Are we thinking championships yet?
No, I wouldn't think that until the end of the last race of the season with the guys that we've got in here. It's just everyone's too good. I could have a week like Spencer and Sam had the previous 2 weeks. Obviously Sam's not here now today, obviously his foot, so that's unlucky as well for him. But no, not a chance. I've got to keep my head looking forward, get my head down, practice, and just keep going. If it happens, it happens, but I'm not even thinking about it.
Okay, well, every time you have a good result, I'm going to ask you the same question. So we've still got a few to get through. So before we let you go, any shout outs you want to give?
Matty had a really good race. The rest of the team had generally good races, and obviously you guys putting on the show. And Mark, don't worry about it, mate. It happens. And Spencer as well. And Sam, get back next week.
I'm more upset that you scraped his paintwork, to be honest. But anyway, congratulations on your podium finish, Stephen Walker. We'll see you next time out.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Well done, Stephen.
Cheers, Alan.
Okay, so next up, I want to have a word with Dan Blake, new driver to the series, and then we're going to put Mr. Alan Toon on the spot to interview his team captain, Carl Hardy. But first up, Dan Blake, welcome to the booth and welcome to the series.
Thank you very much, Clyde. I this afternoon to give it a go. I thought you needed a McLaren, so yeah, here I am.
And how did that old McLaren fare? Because last couple of seasons, to be honest, it's been, the car to be in. Looked like at the start of the race, it was like, whoa, hang on, people have jumped into the Aston because it is one of the most beautiful cars in the world, but they've missed a trick here with a McLaren, and then it all started to go a little bit pear-shaped.
Yeah, I made that mistake sort of 14, 15 laps in, which let the other two pass. I was able to keep up with them. It was sort of really, I think, the pit stop and the few laps after, which were my undoing. I lost the slipstream, and it's quite a big factor around it. I just never quite get it back. But I think overall, that's the first sort of long race I've done in the car, and I was quite impressed with how it drove, to be honest. So I think definitely getting the pole position well, a bit of a signal of intent for the rest of the season too.
Yeah, and what sort of experience have you got in the GT4 class? Because unfortunately, I've said it on the broadcast, you are one of those annoying people that can jump into any car and do well. But have you done much in the McLaren or any of the GT4s before, or is this your first sort of toe in the water with it?
This is my first league race. I did 2 Pilot Challenge races sort of at Zandvoort last week in it, but other than that, no experience whatsoever.
Okay, well, hopefully that means the rest of the GT4 drivers can start officially what we call the technical term of shitting themselves. Yeah, you know, how did you find, we have got some fantastic drivers in this league. I know we blow our own trumpet, but a lot of people like to race here because it's clean, it's fair, it's fun. How did you find it as a new driver to the league?
It was absolutely fantastic. I just wish more leagues were like this, to be honest. As you say, everyone's so friendly and the racing was clean and fair. Had a really good battle with sort of Simon and Wobbly and Stephen, a few of the other guys as well in GT4s. It was really close racing and I really enjoyed it.
Excellent. Well, we look forward to you turning some of those pole positions into podiums or wins throughout this season, and then hope that you can stick with us and maybe chuck a full season in and see how you fare from there. But before we let you go, any shout outs you want to give?
Just a shout out to yourselves for letting me race, Fury Simsport, my team, and also, of course, to Sir Valentine, the legend. Great to hear you in the box, mate.
Thank you, Dan. Well, it's great to see you on the track, mate, really.
Thank you, Alan.
Okay, well, congratulations, Dan. Obviously, you got some extra points tonight for leading laps. Ultimately, dropped down to 6th, but I'm sure you're going to be right up there in no time. So thanks for joining us in the booth, and we'll see you next time out.
Excellent. Yeah, thank you guys for the broadcast, and I'll see you next week.
Brilliant.
Okay, so Sir Alan Toon, we have been easing you in slowly to these interviews. So let's now give you probably the hardest interview you will ever get in your BSTV career with Mr. Carl Hardy.
Yes, total stranger, of course. I don't know this gentleman at all.
Good evening. You all right?
Hello, sweetie. Yes, yes. Well, who wouldn't be after a race like that? That was so exciting, up and down the track, and I enjoyed every minute of that race. But I enjoyed your bars with Peter.
I saved so much fuel. Just sat behind him, and we all know I can't do that. I done it. Yeah, overrun me pit stop. Did you see that? Did you get that? Yeah, so I overrun me pit stop. I was in the back of Russell's car more than at my pit garage. Reverse back, and yeah, rest is history, really. Somehow I grabbed 4th, thanks to Mark taking out Steve.
Absolutely. Oh, I don't know. You got to 4th. It was a fantastic drive, and I was really enjoying the race with you. And then you got that little gap, and there you were shooting up the field. Very exciting stuff.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Thank you. Yeah, it was really good race. I really enjoyed that one. It was just because as long as you're racing against someone, it's it doesn't matter where you are. Just that's brilliant. Pete was on pace this week. In the officials last night, he was doing really well. So he done really well. Brilliant movie done on me.
Yes, we saw it. We saw it. Goodbye, you.
Yeah, I hope you put that in slow mo.
Pete's always in slow mo.
No, to give him his dues, he's getting there now. He's really quick now. He's doing all right. You are gonna have to start praising him, Clyde.
Never gonna happen, mate. Never. I'd rather quit.
Everyone tonight was really good. I mean, it was really hard with the GT4s coming through. It was just, you were better off just letting them through. It was really hard because you're obviously in a battle yourself. But it was tough. But they done all right to get through us.
Yeah, it was incredibly clean. People were getting just skillful driving. And a bit of care on both sides. People were trying to facilitate it so the racing wasn't ruined, and it worked very well. A bit of consideration on the track, and it was great to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they were so close together. There was like 7 of them, so close together, and it was really hard just to get them through. So I just backed right out, and I think it was 4 I let through in one go.
Yeah.
just to give himself some room.
Well, they stuck together, didn't they? We got a huge
Yeah.
train in the GTs. It was a great race all around. I thought we might get it, because it's the kind of track you get close racing, but it was fantastic up and down the field. Great racing.
Yeah, that was really good. Really, really good.
And
on to the next one.
Yes,
Long
we're
Beach,
on
isn't it?
time.
Long Beach
Long
next week.
Beach. That's a different challenge, isn't it, for you? Goodness me.
Oh, yeah, I love that track though. It's really good.
Yeah, I like it. It couldn't be more different to this, though, could it? We've got the wide open green spaces there, and it's wall heaven there. So,
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
It will.
Well, I'll let you get on to the other drivers. Thanks for dragging us in. Thanks, Alan, for chatting.
Oh, matey, thank you for the race. It's been a pleasure to watch you.
Yeah, cheers, guys. Thank you very much.
Okay, so Carl Hardy there. Obviously, all the other drivers thought Carl was going to go on for about 3 hours, so they've all disappeared. Sam, let's have a summary from you because you've been nice and quiet tonight. We said before the race started, we had an inkling that Summit Point would deliver. We know these drivers and these cars deliver week in, week out. And I think Summit Point was a welcome addition to the series.
It was boring. No, what was it definitely delivered. It was a great race. Great fun watching these guys, as always. It's like that every week. We say that every week, except last week. But it's always good fun. So there's nothing more to say. That they deliver every single week. So that's good.
Okay, so we are at that time of the night where I like to put these guys and myself a little bit on the spot, although I'm professional, so I do tend to think about this all the way through the race. And I'm going to go to Alan first, and I'm going to ask him for his GT4 driver of the evening.
Okay, now, unusually for me, I've actually been thinking about this all the way through the race. I can be ready this week for this really difficult question, because it is difficult. It is. There was so much happening all over. So the GT, you did ask for the GT, didn't you?
I did.
For me, I'm going to go with Dan, turning up and racing hard. And it's great to see him here. And it's great to see a new face and great to see him driving so well. And I'm looking forward to a lot more from Dan.
Can't disagree with any of that. And your TCR driver of the meeting, shall I just put one on Carl straight away? Or
No, because you were talking about professionalism before. Now they could be Pete, couldn't they? They could be David Ayres, because I was, like you said, David finished the race. It was great to see him actually getting through the whole race. And there's my captain Carl, who turned in a fantastic performance. Now he got on the podium, and even though his Carl's opponent theatre, I'm going to give it to Matt Elmore.
Oh,
okay. He got on the podium, and he was thrilled about it, and I could feel his excitement.
Yeah, I can't disagree with your choices there. Sam, your GT4 driver of the evening?
If he really had a migraine today, I'll give mine to Jimmy because he did a great race, and I do have migraine myself sometimes, and it's just a big pain. I can't do anything, so kudos to him.
Okay.
And sorry for the song, Jamie.
Another one that I can't disagree with. And your TCR driver of the evening?
I will follow Alan. I will go with Matt Elmore. It's his first podium. He did a great race. Was at the right place at the right time. So, yeah, good race from him.
Okay, so over to me. We know I never vote for the winners For me, it turned out to be a toss-up between Stefan Goebel and Jamie Wilson. So purely on the scientific basis that Sam has already voted for Jamie, I am going to give my vote to Stefan Goebel. We know he's quick, and I think tactically he was very astute tonight. TCR, I think, Alan named them all. Matt Elmore, Pete Bingham, Carl Hardy, Stephen Walker, all had fantastic races tonight. But on the basis that I voted for someone who I thought pulled off fantastic tactics in the GT4 field, my vote is going to go to the driver that ultimately it didn't work out, but we know I like to see somebody trying something different tactically. So I'm going to give my vote to Mark Draper for a valiant effort tonight. So that is the driver of the evening. Votes done and dusted. Obviously, all the scores will be updated tomorrow. Coming up on BSTV in the next 7 days, we've got another weekend off, which is absolutely fantastic because I'm at work. So we are back with this series next Wednesday from the Long Beach circuit, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. It will either be one of the most amazing races that you've seen in your life, or it will be one of the most amazing crashes you've ever seen in your life. It is literally one of those tracks that can go either way. So make sure you drop this video a like. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you follow us on Facebook. That way you will never miss a broadcast. Big thank you to all of the drivers. Absolutely fantastic racing as usual. Big thanks to everybody that joins us on the chat. We say it time and time again, but it is said from the heart. We really enjoy your comments, your questions, your quirks, and even your piss taking on the chat. Big thanks to Sir Alan Toon. I personally think he is doing absolutely fantastic in the booth, considering we thrust him into it probably about 3 days before we was going to go live with this series. So big thanks to Alan and well done. Big thanks to Sam. We did have some technical difficulties at the start of the broadcast. Sam does get, we always say, he's the angriest Belgian you will ever meet in your life. But he, under pressure, he keeps a cool head. He got everything sorted, and we managed to bring you some race information. So thanks for that. And just to let everybody know, it's our birthday today. Is it the second anniversary, Sam?
Well, yeah, I think so, because it's
think
season
it
8,
is, isn't it?
so yeah, that's 2 years now.
Yeah.
Oh, happy
So
birthday.
yes, the second anniversary of probably our first broadcast. So
Fantastic.
people have put up with us for this long, which is great. So without further ado, it leaves me to say good night to everybody. Then I shall let Alan and Sam say good night, and we shall close our birthday broadcast. So good night, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time out.
Good night, folks. Thanks for watching, and look forward to seeing you next week. It's going to be fantastic. One of the most dangerous hairpins in iRacing.
And
Looking
good night,
forward
everybody,
to it.
from the super cool edit, as Clyde said. Not sure that's the right definition, but yeah. Thanks for watching. See you next time.